I got to lean in.
What is up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight as we recap the final episode, the regular season of season 14 of the Real Housewives of New York City. Thank you guys for joining us that are already in the group. Hello to Shantae. Hello to Chase. Welcome back to the panel, Chase. Welcome back, Shantae. Thank you guys for joining us for the finale. How are you doing, Shantae?
I'm happy to see both of you guys, and yeah, just recovering from a weekend where I had the husband sick, baby
Well, I'm glad
going through it. So
I'm glad it's virtual. I don't need to get sick right now. Good to see you virtually. How are you doing, Chase? I love you. Got a new cut, a new color.
Yeah, it's a new cut, a new color. I'm all right. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Now
You
for the
look good,
Monday.
friend.
Yeah, I did.
Just a little bit, not too much. Hold on now. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump right into it. As we know, this is the finale of the rebooted Real Housewives of New York City. We've got two reunion episodes that are coming up, and then we can call it a wrap. Also, during tonight's episode, we got a tiny teaser of Ultimate Girls Trip Legacy, which very interesting that they bypassed the other season with Brandy and Caroline. It looks like that season may or may not even see the light of day, which I'm a little bit disappointed because we have Alex McCord on that Real Housewives girls trip and not on the Legacy. So I'm a little bit upset, but we'll see how it goes. We'll talk about that as it pops up. Looks like Chase had to hop off. He's going to come on in just a minute. So Shantae, let's go ahead and jump right in. All right. So Brynn is hosting herself a birthday party. I guess it's Brynn's turn to throw an event. Good for her. She's getting her cards read by a tarot card reader. The man tells her that she is finding herself in the middle of two friends fighting. Brynn wants to know if it's going to be resolved in time for her birthday. Plot twist. Brynn puts herself in the middle of things and then creates a whole other situation. So I can tell you that without even reading the cards.
Oh, yeah.
Ubah and Aaron are playing bumper cars on ice. I really like seeing this little scene. Ubah really is just like a big kid. She enjoys laughing. She enjoys being silly. I love seeing her just kind of, because she's tall and very just like elegant, but seeing her like cooped up in the little like bumper cars, just like going to town on people made me laugh. Apparently she's been banned from multiple places for being too aggressive in the bumper cars. So afterwards, they sit and they're talking about the other night at Swingers. And Ubah kind of gets right to it, and I really respect her in this scene. Something, Shantae, you've been saying the whole season, that she kind of has a mind of her own and isn't afraid to go against the grain with folks. Ubah says she doesn't understand why Aaron and Sai are really badgering about Pavitt. She says it was weird and a little bit uncalled for. Aaron is like, well, he's saying that he's happy that his wife lets him do whatever he wants, and Ubah says, that's not how I took it. In my mind, this is the most loving thing a man can say about his wife, that she lets him be him, and he likes sharing his interests with her. Aaron still pretends that she doesn't get it, and I'm just glad that Ubah kind of said, you're being a little bit ridiculous about this. She does admit that she was a little bit bothered by Sai's husband badgering her about being married. And in her confessional, she says, yes, she is dating, as we saw at the end of last season, but she isn't completely comfortable with bringing that to light yet. She says eventually she will get to that point, but for now, Sai is the only one that knows, and in a foreboding overture, we know how that turns out. We cut to a scene simultaneously of Brynn and Sai in Central Park getting a willow tree adopted in the memory of Brynn's grandmother. I thought this was really, really cute. I liked that it was by the water. There were some ducks kind of swimming around. I thought it was a real sweet way to kind of immortalize Brynn's grandmother that we've seen over the course of the season, essentially raised her. I didn't realize that she passed away so recently. I guess it was only like a year and a half, I think. So it was nice to see Brynn, like we say, drop the hypersexualized kind of flirt, money hungry gold digger, and just really be vulnerable and kind of do something human and share a little bit of herself. And Sai gained a little bit of points this way for being there and supporting her. So Shantae, what did you think of the beginning portion of this package?
thought it was really well done because a lot of the episode was kind of a throwback to the first episode, you know, how it all began. Because when we first meet Ubah, it was in the park with Erin, you know? So
Yeah,
it was
I
nice
forgot
to
that.
see them again. Yeah. Especially after their dust up in Anguilla. So it was also great that Ubah didn't go under Erin's mean girl spell, you know, because she definitely was trying to paint Pavitt as this, you know, selfish
Weirdo.
husband, yeah, who just doesn't really care about Jessel. But Ubah flipped it on her and basically made her see that actually it's nice if your spouse values, you know, your interests and your independence. And that's probably one of the highest forms of love, because a lot of the times people do kind of treat relationships kind of like in an ownership kind of way. And it's tempting, you know, to maybe say, okay, I have, you know, this person pussy whipped or something, you know, but it's like Erin in her own way.
You can't say
right?
that has ever
She
happened to
don't-
me.
Right. Erin in her own way, I think, shows her insecurities about her marriage all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, because Abe is so out of control. And in this episode especially, I felt a little way about how he was, you know, flirting with Ubah a little bit, but we'll get to that later. But it's very important for Ubah to keep standing up to Erin and showing her fabulousness, you know?
Absolutely. Chase?
You know, Ren and Stimpy, they keep looking for this thing with
Which
they keep
one's
looking
which,
for
Chase?
it depends on the day. Beavis and Butthead, Pinky and the Brain. They keep looking for like this gotcha moment with Pavitt in this whole thing, and it's just a big nothing burger. I'm so glad that there's someone with their own mind like Ubah who consistently undermines their efforts to soft tear apart this marriage, because they're not big and bad, so they just, you know, they're not really going for the gusto as other housewives would across other franchises. They're new, and I guess they're still trying to show some kind of tack or decorum in their approach. They're just tacky and they don't have any decorum. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't think.
It's the thought that counts.
Oh yeah. Well, they need to start thinking, and then maybe to start counting, because you know I never took what he said as a alarm. You certainly could try to turn that and twist that into something, but you will be trying to turn that and twist that into something. Like I said, it was given nothing, and they're really annoying trying to make something stick that is not there. Other than that, I don't have much for the opening. You know, good for Brynn and her grandmother. I do wonder though, because I was trying to just think about the original incarnation of the franchise and how Sonya was always hypersexualized, but it was funny. Is it that Brynn is hypersexualized and it's not funny? I'm not understanding. I mean, like, it's something about her that even I'm like, girl, go get laid, go do whatever you need to do, go do something, and then come back and sit down so you can have a regular conversation. Because all of this, and Brynn, and like, even in the reunion trailer, like, she's rubbing on her tits. Like, come on, like, get a grip. So I don't know, like, what the difference is in between the two. I don't know. I thought I would ask you guys that, because Sonya does it and nobody cares really, but Brynn does it and like everybody's about to like stab their eyes, you know, poke their eye, gouge their eyes out. So like, what's that about?
I said there's something very disingenuous about the way that Brynn does it. Because Sonya, when we met Sonya, she was still married, right? She was still Lady Morgan. She was our former Lady Morgan, so she kind of had like a place in society. She was a little put together. What we saw Sonya over the course of the show, as like the money started leaving and her husband started cutting her off, and she became a little more like, oh, girl, I'm not this figure of society anymore. She was trying to use things to cope with it. And make no mistake, it got a little weary on Sonya as well. Like after 10 seasons of doing the same thing, you're like, okay, girl, let's do something else. But I think Brynn has shown that she is educated. She is pre-med. She's got these other interests. I think that being sexualized is quite possibly the least interesting thing about Brynn as a person. When every other cast member has kind of their own identity and nobody feels like a carbon copy of anybody else, Brynn feels a little too close to Sonia Morgan. And that doesn't necessarily work in a reboot because everybody else has kind of carved out their own identity, if that makes sense.
She's got some growing to do.
Just to me.
But also, Brynn, she's entering into full producer mode. I definitely feel like when we get her, doing the va-va-voom kind of stuff, it doesn't feel natural because she's playing it up for the cameras. And especially this episode, I feel like we wouldn't have had the fireworks in the finale without Brynn. She was definitely ghost producing, getting scenes going, especially when it came to Jessel. I was really annoyed with her producer hat. But
Sonia just liked to drink and get laid.
Yeah, Sonia was not playing it up.
Sonia was
living her life. She was just living life, and shit would happen. And I appreciate that.
Sonia was not playing. She was really maybe struggling with a lot of issues.
That girl
out loud. But Brynn is definitely producing it. It was so apparent this episode, and I thank her for it because this episode would have been boring without Brynn.
Oh, hold on now. We'll get to that. Hold on. So we see Jessel is utilizing Jenna's apartment for a photo shoot. Good to see Jessel getting her brand up and trying to further that. The model is gorgeous. I love the styling on it. Jenna's has been relegated to her bathroom to do her work for boxing up these lashes. She manages to come out and she kind of offers some of her Jenna Lyons expertise advice. She is moving some of the background stuff around, saying it's a little too cluttered. Jessel really appreciates it because she says in her confessional that she can't afford to hire Jenna as the creative director, so she will take any words of advice that Jenna has. I thought that was really cute that Jenna just could not help herself with going into Jenna Lyons mode in the middle of a photo shoot, because honestly, how many of these things has Jenna Lyons curated, overseen, been at over the course of her 20+ year career? Like when Jenna Lyons says, hey, maybe we should do this, that's somebody that you should be like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and do this.
At least let's get a few shots of it. Yeah.
Let's just try it. But you know that she's telling you the truth. Ubah also arrives and the elevator is not working in Jenna's building. So she has to walk up. I don't think that they mentioned the number of stairs, but apparently it was a lot. And even when she arrives in her stiletto boots, she just looks absolutely ridiculous and better than anybody there at the photo shoot. I'm like, girl, you just did cardio for 15-20 minutes and you look flawless right now. Ubah also gives some pointers to the model. Hey, let's try this, do these poses. And this is the kind of stuff that I really want to see more of this reboot. I want to see these women working, giving feedback on their expertise, because we know Ubah is a working model. We know Jenna is a working creative director. She's been in fashion. Jessel is working to get her consulting and her fashion blog and stuff off the ground. I want to see more of the work. I think that would give the women a more well-rounded, fleshed out characters. And I think we may have got more of that in the beginning when they cut some of the episodes due to the other lady leaving. After the photo shoot, the two of them sneak off into the bathtub and Jessel begins to fill Ubah in on Brynn and Jenna's visit. Ubah is still staunchly team Jessel and Pavitt. Jessel feels like she's kind of been pushed past the edge with the two of Aaron and Sai really just attacking her marriage and trying to make an issue out of nothing. Ubah says, weak people fight by going after marriages and children. I don't do that because, frankly, it's none of my business. And truer words have never been spoken on a Housewife franchise, but also I hope nobody stops doing what they're doing because this is the kind of mess we like to see. Chase, you have anything to add on this?
Is it me? Or did production get word that Jenna Lyons is not coming back and have consistently I don't want to say deplatformed her, but consistently, I just feel like we don't see a lot of her as much. She's not really involved as much.
Well, a lot of the last couple of episodes have been fighting and arguing, and that's not Jenna Lyons.
That's not her thing.
Not interested. That's not her thing. So that makes sense. She also was traveling. If you remember in the last episode or before, she had mentioned that she had that photo shoot that she was going to. So like she was doing
it feels
stuff.
like
it
was Jenna here and Jessel here. And I don't know if it coincided with the timing of social media, but the pieces have kind of been moved a little bit, if that makes sense. Other than that, I don't have much to say. It is good to see that Jessel was supported by not only Jenna, but by Ubah, and Ubah being like, her support system in the group, letting her know, hey, I didn't agree with it either. And, I do like their friendship, and I like to see it grow more over time. I do have a kind of hot take about the reboot. I don't know if I'll say it now. You want to hear now?
Do you want to give it now?
Girl, fix it, honey, fix it.
Me, fix it.
Fix it. Fix this reboot, girl. Just fix it, girl. I hate to say, go and give me some of these old OG New York girls back, and give me a Miami style. Everybody's so obsessed with the Miami style reboot. Fix it. Figure it out. I don't think that bringing what is her name from the
Leah?
Who?
Is it Leah? That's the one I heard they might bring.
Girl, I thought you said Toya. That's what I said. Who? Toya. Well, I'm sure Toya Bush knows everybody.
Okay, I know these ladies.
I'm sure she knows these ladies really closely. No, but Leah, yes, Leah.
Yeah, Leah.
Leah didn't really give to me when she was a housewife. Maybe she would be the closest thing. Leah, Kristen, and Heather, maybe the closest thing to the reboot that they have. But I don't really care. Give me Sonia, give me Luann, give me Dorinda, and figure it out with whoever you got left and fix this. Because, honey, it's just.
We will ask everybody's thoughts at the end on what you thought of the overall reboot. But okay, Chase,
spicy take, yeah.
I mean, but also it's not an unpopular opinion. Twitter is kind of divided on whether people feel like it was an adequate first season or even a good first season. Some people don't like it at all. Some people are opining for the glory days, which, I mean, the first season of New York had its moments, but wasn't a banger.
It was horrible
every episode. So
it was horrible.
Had it not been for Bethany Frankel, that season would have crashed and burned and probably got another one. Wouldn't have gotten another season. Bethany really did save that first season, and I hate to say it because you know how I feel about Bethany Frankel. But no,
admit it, she's the queen.
You're always on the wrong side of history.
Not me.
Right.
Go ahead,
Shantae. What did you think of this?
I actually thought this was one of the better scenes for Jenna because she has this pattern of intentionally shrinking herself, even last episode, she was like, oh, I don't know how to flirt and my teeth are fake, and even at the end of this episode, which we'll get to, she was doing the same, oh, I wish I was as confident as the other girls. But here you see her in her boss mode because regardless of how she, I think, sometimes purposely shrinks herself to, ingratiate herself to others and maybe carry herself humbly because she knows she's such a big deal. She is a boss, and we got to see her be a boss and be like, listen, I know you're the director of this whole thing, but this needs to go here, that needs to go there. And I love seeing Jenna like that, and I wish that she would bring more of that energy more consistently. But during this season, Jenna has dimmed her light, and it's not something that is strange because there are a lot of people, I think, who want to play more easily with others and fit in and readjust their, I guess, energies and talents, around other people so that they don't seem like a big fish in a small pond or something like that. But Jenna just needs to do more of what she did in this scene all the time and just walk in her glory,
I like Jenna. I would prefer Jenna Lyons do what she has done this season versus coming in thinking she's too good for the show and being a raging bitch like that. And also Jenna Lyons is very smart. I think she knows that if she came in with the full Jenna Lyons, bad bitch, I'm the boss, that could very easily turn some people off. But I also just don't think that's genuinely her personality, because I haven't heard anything negative about her from people or in the blogs. And you know, the fashion world likes to talk. Stuff gets leaked. Like I haven't found any like really negative things that people say about her. She's good at what she does. She does what she does, and she's genuinely and generally well liked by her peers. So maybe just like catty fighting is not something that she jumps into or even enjoys getting into. Now on the flip side of the coin, we see two women who absolutely enjoy that. We have Sai and Aaron coming back to the mothership, or this Halloween costume, to look for some Venetian masks. And it took me a minute to figure out who was who, and I couldn't tell their faces from all the haggard masks that were on the shelves. Well, they're haggard, cackling haggard masks. Well, they're recapping the drama at Swingers. Sai does tell Aaron that she was called a pet parrot, and Aaron says she doesn't care, but we all know that is not true. She says she doesn't care about 10 times is what she said, and I was like, do you care? She says she wants to drop kick Jessel, and I was like, okay. And that Jessel, in her words, Jessel is a parrot because she doesn't remember her own thoughts and has to write them down. And I'm like, I don't think you understand what parrots do or like how parrots work, because they have a notoriously like great memory. Like they be ratting people out from the shit that they see. So like, let's get another analogy. Sai reiterates that she's not a mean girl, and she was very upset that she was called a mean girl. Aaron tells her that Ubah was a little upset that David kept like pushing the marriage thing. Sai says she doesn't know why, because Ubah is very happy. She's got a man, and I think that she realizes what she said, and she like pauses, kind of backtracks, and then says, well, I found out on accident. Didn't mean to tell me. I'm sorry. And you can see like Aaron like silently seething that Sai knows something that she doesn't. And I think the two of them in a versus match would be better TV than Jessel versus anybody. And I can't wait till that comes. We switch over. Everybody's getting ready for the party. Jenna and her son are kind of in there. And I really love this scene because he's literally dragging every single fashion choice that Jenna Lyons is pulling out of her closet. I would like a little like recap show of just the two of them going over fashion, like bring back the fashion police was just like Jenna and her son. What's her son's name? Brendan, Brody, Bastion, Blake. Starts with a B. The son, the kid. Bennett, thank you.
Bennett.
I thought think this was my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. That's how I remembered. Sorry.
I thought it was cute. Jessel and Pavitt. Jessel and Pavitt are discussing the mess. Jessel's lost her voice. Asked Pavitt if she sounds sexy, and Pavitt was just like, I just want a sandwich. Jessel is adamant that Sai and Aaron are obsessed with her marriage, her comings and her goings. She says Aaron is a parrot. She has no brain. Pavitt shadily suggests that he wears a wedding ring on every single finger just to pacify these two ladies. Seeing his wife nervous, he suggests that they do shots of tequila. And honestly, that's a good man, Savannah. This is one of my favorite housewife husbands. And I can't wait for him to be on Dancing with the Stars as well. He'll do better than Mauricio's doing. What did y'all think, Shantae? Hold on now. As we saw in the trailer, Kyle's the one cheating and diving. That's another live. Shantae, what did you think of this scene?
I don't know why I agreed to come on the show.
Y'all need to save that for the Beverly Hills panel. I'm not feeling a fight for my life in the comments, okay?
Well, the viewers are used to it.
No, with Aaron and Ty, Beavis and Butthead, like you said. I don't know how many times they're gonna keep Jessel's name in their mouth. Like, I really want Jessel to tell him, keep my name out of your mouth, because it's getting so tired. For people who claim that they don't care, they cannot live without saying this lady's name. And the whole parrot thing, it's like Sai could not wait to tell Aaron this. And I don't know who Aaron thought she would be kung fu fighting with, but I was like very much not convinced that she would bust a grape, considering how she was hiding behind everybody when Ubah even just raised her voice a little at her. So Aaron and Sai, they just need to stop with the mean girl stuff. And then when it came to Jessel, her voice was in really bad shape. That was the thing that I was noticing with the conversation with Pavitt and a little bit at the photo shoot, but it sounded really, really hoarse. I don't know if she was like fighting something or if because she spoke so much, I guess at whatever the photo shoot she needed to do that she lost it. But that's when I knew that the party wasn't gonna be as big of a blow up as I was hoping for, because she wouldn't be able to yell back at Sai when Sai, would get loud and do whatever her mean girl stuff.
She wasn't gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, so that's when I was like, she already, struggles to stand up for herself, and she's losing her voice. So that made me lower my expectations. But hopefully at the reunion, her voice will be full force. But I like how she was still getting some jabs in. She was saying, why are they so obsessed with me on her, couch next to Pavitt. And it was a cute scene because Pavitt definitely has her back. And yeah, I just hope that Jessel brings it even more at the reunion,
Chase, what do you think? Oh, he's going in and out.
Oh.
All right. Let's keep it moving. So we're at Brynn's birthday party. People start arriving. I thought everybody looked more or less, they look cute. I like the theme. I like the decorations. Good job, Brynn, on your first event for the season. Sai is wearing Brynn's reunion dress, minus the doilies and the little croquet pot holders on the chest. Her face and her hair look fantastic. And then for some reason, she puts the weird, Masked Bandit OnlyFans mask on. And I'm not sure why she chose that for the event, but I'm very, very glad that she took it off. Brynn looks gorgeous, but the dress looks a little like drag race, sewing challenge, and all I know how to operate is a glue gun. Erin looks adequate, which is kind of her brand, just like adequate, unremarkable. Ubah, of course, knocks it out of the park from head to toe. Hair, face, coat, dress. Ubah looks fantastic. Mm-hmm. Jenna and her lady of the night show up. The mask is, I think, Shantae, you said in the group chat, the mask was the best one. This is the lesbian power couple I need injected into my veins. And this is what I need Jenna Lyons on the show for. Just bring that BDE in for me. Meanwhile, Brynn is being her messy self and hyping Sai up oh, you don't like Jessel? Oh, do you see Jessel? Oh, you don't see her? She's camouflage, right? You ignored her, right? And she really is the Ashley Darby of New York City, how she stays just trying to stir up mess and somehow so far has managed to skate by unscathed. Jessel does approach Erin and Sai and simply just says hello, how is everybody? How are you? And then keeps it pushing. Sai's face gets all ruched up and crinkled up. And Erin doesn't understand why why Jessel isn't more warming. She says, I didn't get a hug. I didn't get anything. And it's no, baby, you don't. Jessel does look good. The hair is sitting. The face is sitting. I love that the dress is a little nod to her culture with a little razzle dazzle. What did y'all think of everybody's fashion? Chase, since we didn't get you this last round, what did you think?
Sorry. I don't know what it is about my mom, but she knows anytime I get on the lean because she calls me with an emergency and it's just hey, take the meat out of the freezer. Girl, I haven't stayed with you in over 20 years. What are you talking about? Okay, I'll come right back. Bye. What are you? I love you, mommy, if you're watching, but girl, what? The fashions, what did I think of them? I didn't think anything of them. They were unremarkable and unmemorable to me. I watched the episode. I watched the episode 3 times. And I don't remember a single lick of fashion. I'm just being honest with you. Other than Brynn most likely getting her dress from somebody's attic. Right?
It looked like an old fishnet.
I just said I hate Brynn. Oh my God, did you hear that? That's in my mouth. But I kind of hate her. I don't know.
But she was the star this episode. Listen, this finale
that
would
doesn't
have been dry.
Shantae, wait a minute. Shantae, this is my square. And for my square, I don't give a damn if she clocked in, clocked out. I don't give a damn if she took a 15-minute break. I don't like it.
That is true. My bad.
So now it's your square. It is your square, Shantae. What do you have to say?
Brynn was the greatest. She was the star.
No, Brynn is not the greatest. She held this episode, up on her back, of course, but really, Sai and Jessel, they were the stars at first, and I love how Jessel handled the girls. She came in, she did the general high, and of course, Erin's gonna play victim and fall apart or pretend to fall apart when she knows that they're not close like that. She knows all the smack she's been talking about Jessel, and she's still acting like she's owed all these hugs and kisses. And I'm just like, Erin, like, how could you just be so far in your Karen bag that you're gonna turn yourself into a victim over a high? Because she was like, Jessel didn't say hi, and then the production team rolled the footage of Jessel giving the general high. And then she goes to her husband and complains, saying, I don't know what I've done to Jessel. Why is she lumping me up in these things? And I can't take Erin when she's being Erin the Karen. And then she confronts Jessel, and asks her, what have I done? Why didn't you hug me and, treat me like the queen that I think that I am? And Jessel rightfully just tells her, we're not that cool. I know you've been talking ish. And then she gathers side here too. And I know you don't like me and I don't like y'all either. It was beautiful.
Erin definitely, I agree with Chase. Way back when, that was a very Jill Zarin move. I'm going to talk mess about you and then be mad when you don't greet me the way I need you to greet me. So, I hate saying that I agree with Chase. I hate it.
Chase called it.
But as we move on, Erin immediately after this...
Chase, I'm gonna give you your flowers. Chase,
thank you.
Don't need them.
See in the future.
He already got his flowers on that shirt. We're good. He doesn't need any more.
Hush, honey, hush. Go ahead. Go square Shante. Go ahead. Continue.
Chase knows he's got good intuition. We cannot hold that back.
Next topic. So Erin immediately runs and complains to her husband, who can't wait to sleep with anybody else but her at this party. It says that Jessel didn't say hi, didn't greet her the way that she needed to, and then immediately rushes back over to Jessel and says, well, you didn't say hi to me. Cue the cameras flashbacking to where Jessel absolutely did say hi to her. And then Jessel doesn't skip a beat. She immediately was like, no, I said hi to you, but also you talk a lot of ish about my husband. Erin starts stuttering. I don't remember that. I just say what's on my mind. And she gets shut down. Jessel says, you know what? I'm not doing this with you, Erin. I'm saying that Brynn told me you were talking mess about me. Sai walks up at this moment, and without skipping a beat or taking a breath, Jessel pivots and has said, well, I also heard that you don't like me. And to which Sai, she really thought that she was going to eat Jessel up with this one. And she says, it's not that I don't like you. It's that I don't want to be best friends with you. And Jessel replies right back, that's great because I don't want to be best friends with you either. And we get this, which is just everything that I wanted. This is for the first time in 14 episodes, Sai didn't have a single thing to say. I love this. So good job for Jessel, hoarse voice and all. After that, she was like, all right, cool. Erin, we good? Awesome. Great. You want to do a shot? Erin ditches Sai and her crunched face and then decides to go take a shot. Sai runs over to the bar and to Jenna and is complaining. She's like, oh, I'm already drunk. I already had a drink. And I'm like, now who's alcoholic? So we see Erin and Jessel talking. Erin says, how dare you call me a parrot? I didn't like that you called me a parrot. I also heard that you keep notes about me, to which Jessel was like, that's psychotic. I absolutely don't do that. The camera flashes back to Jessel saying that she absolutely does do that.
I totally keep notes of everybody.
We love a lying housewife, and I can't wait for this to get brought up in the reunion.
Was it a lie?
It was a lie. She literally said, I keep notes. I keep notes on that bitch, is what she said.
Shantae.
I don't know. I can defend it. I can defend it.
Oh, no, I defend it, but it was a lie. I defend it, but it was a lie. It was the fact that she said that is absolutely psychotic. I don't.
It's categorically false.
Categorically false. It's the diametrical opposite. Like, yeah, it was a lie. It was a total lie.
I don't know.
So Aaron said about her calling her a parrot, and then she immediately throws Sai under the bus and was like, "Do not lump me in with Sai. I'm my own person. I have my own mind." And I can't wait for that to get brought up in the reunion because Aaron is a nasty piece of work. She also doesn't have any kind of bite. The fact that she's been barking like this for 4 episodes, and the minute that Jessel just like, "I heard you were talking shit," she now is like, no, not me. It was all Sai. I'm good, sis. Let's do this shot. Jessel doesn't let up, though. She says that every single time one of them have a problem, both of them end up jumping in. Somehow Brynn now is on the screen and just says, you don't get mad enough. We need you to get madder and assert yourself because somehow Brynn can smell 2 things, and it's, drama that doesn't involve her. So she wants to start some, and older men with money. And thank God we have her on the show because, like you said, Shantae, she was the last little catalyst we needed to get some stuff popping. Jessel does say that there's nothing worth getting that mad about, and you're never going to see her raise her voice or call someone names. And Brynn says, well, you're confusing standing up for yourself with being ratchet. Chase, what did you have?
Don't keep that to me. Don't keep that shit to me. Listen, okay, so Jessel with the little, the little gag on side, you know what I mean? I think that it reminds me of like when you are going, let's be very clear. Now, did she clear Sai in Jessel's own way? Yes, Jessel cleared Sai. It was very much like, I don't want to give it like the gag award. Like I don't want to give it a gag award. The gag award. But I will say it was like a oop, like a little oop. It's like when you go to break up with somebody and they break up with you first, and you be like, wait, what did
you pull a me on me?
I'm breaking up with you. Right. Yeah. that was. She was like, oh, well, we been playing this. And that's why I said Ren and Stampy, Beavis and Butthead, Pinky and No Brain, right? Aaron, I tell you what, I tuned Karen out. So when they were talking, it's the tears for me, like just in general. It's she's always going to take somebody out like Taylor Armstrong and take him out back and give him an Oklahoma. And it never happened. She said that in the first episode, and the only person who bought into it was Brynn. That's why Brynn in that reunion trailer acting like she's going to beat somebody's ass. Girl, stop it, I say. Stop it, I say, because you're not.
Stop it.
Because
I will not come off my chariot.
Well, sweetheart, because you were afraid of Aaron, and Aaron has shown us consistently throughout these long, agonizing 14 episodes that she is not walking it like she talking, okay? She is not that girl. And so, yeah, that's what I have for that. As far as Brynn thinking that Jessel has to do a certain thing, I learned with my critique of Garcelle in Beverly Hills, I learned, because that was very hard. Why isn't she going off on them? Why isn't she saying this? Why isn't she doing this? I would do it this way. I would do it that way. They are not me. So you are not Jessel, and Jessel is not you. Jessel handles it in her own way, and if she is satisfied with barely doing anything and letting them girls win over her, then that is her, okay? And you have to stay out of that. Now, do we thank her for going ahead and stirring the pot? I guess so. Thank you for stirring the pot. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Brynn. And Brynn, now you're using ratchet. I don't want to police anyone's blackness, so I'm not going to police anyone's blackness. That's what I'll say. Because she's black, so I won't police it.
Do you think it was a dig at Sai?
Oh, I don't know if it was a dig at Sai. I think it was, it could definitely be taken that way. And if so, if I was Sai, I would want to know, what did you mean by it? But I don't know if it was an intentional dig. Brynn seems to do a lot of things accidentally. So who knows? You know what I mean? All that bullshit.
Miss Shantae, what did you think about this?
Well, with the Jessel listing, I can justify it as not technically a lie because
it was only about.
Yeah, Aaron was saying, "Oh, you have done all these horrible things to me, including this list about me." But really, what Jessel has her phone is a checklist of things that she didn't say prior when slights happened that she writes down, and it's just kind of her feelings. Like literally when she was reading it, it was like, I can't believe you would call me privileged. I've never been fed anything in my life. And it's like literally kind of more about things that she wished that she said when the slights happened, rather than like New Jersey style, dirt list of like, oh, I know you have a secret child, something like that. So that's how I could see Jessel's point, because it isn't an evil list on dirt on Aaron like how people might think it would be, or the way Aaron was talking about it. It's literally a checklist of things that Jessel didn't say when slights happened. That's kind of like letter form in her phone. So that's why I wouldn't say that Jessel technically lied, right? But then when it comes to seriously, you heard how the phone thing sounded, right? It was like a Dear John list.
You're gonna have to draw. I'm sorry, Shantae. You're gonna have to draw that out of the map for me and bring it the next time you're on the show, so I can, because I don't understand. I don't get it.
All right, we'll talk about it in the group chat.
She defended that down.
I'm confused.
To her last
breath. But go ahead, go off. I mean, listen. I love that you feel like. I really do love that you feel like that. I know that you like. I love that. I don't get it, but I love it.
I don't know nothing about that lifestyle.
That's not me. That's y'all. Keep that over there. Go ahead, Shantae.
I mean, if you're being crude about the list, then yeah, it's about Aaron and yes on her phone. But really, when you dig into it, it's really about Jessel's feelings. A lot of things that she wished she said in the moment she was slighted. But when it comes to Brynn, she was definitely ghost producing very annoyingly, when she was telling Jessel to, stand up for yourself, because at first in the last episode, it sounded like good advice when she was like, you need to make Sai respect you, by telling her to mind her business. But in the moment when she and Aaron was going at it, it did feel a little bit more like a gang up, because Brynn went in kind of criticizing Jessel and kind of goading her into getting a bigger reaction. So I didn't like how Brynn gave her that advice here. If it was one-on-one, and if it wasn't in an already such a tense exchange between her and Aaron, it might have came across as more well-intentioned and not like ghost producing to create a big fight and reaction out of Jessel. So this is where I was annoyed at Brynn. But again, she did carry the episode on her back later on, because Jessel rejected her, little puppet strings. She was like, "No, I'm not doing this. I'm not going down and come off my chariot to throw tomatoes with you, Aaron."
I love a Queen Bee reference. I love a Queen Bee. I do.
Well, speaking of, sorry, what'd you say, Chase?
I just want to say very briefly, if I am, because I'm trying to understand Shantae's point, because I always thought that. Well, no, what I'm saying, no, I'm not. I'm just saying. Sometimes it's us. We can say we don't get it. We should be comfortable to say like, "Hey, I don't understand." That's why some people still can't do fractions, because they never said it in the third grade, right?
It's true.
But for real, that's word. Catch that word. Anyway, so I was under the impression that Jessel was like writing down things that Aaron was doing and saying, right, that was making her mad, but she was actually writing down her reaction to it and not verbalizing it in the moment.
Yeah, the way that it came off, she was very much like, "Aaron, you called me this. How dare you call me this?" So it very much like
so she was writing, "I'm mad," and like
it was very much diary entry.
Okay, I always thought it was. I didn't think it was that. So then Brynn encouraging her. Brynn is still Brynn is still trash, and she ain't shit, because I'm encouraging you to speak up for a situation that I am actively creating in front of everyone's face.
Exactly.
And nobody's calling me out on it. You're still trash for that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So speaking of producing, speaking of producing, Brynn says she's bored and wants to play a game. And frankly, I'm like, yeah, same girl. Thank you for moving this along. She says, "Why don't we all get drinks and everybody tell each other why they hate each other, and we'll resolve it tonight?" And I'm like, that ain't gonna happen, but I can't wait. So shocker, she's the first one that wants to talk. And she says, "I didn't like, the other night at the house when Pavit called Sai bipolar. And Aaron musters up all the righteous indignation of a woman who has no room to be righteously indignant and yells, "That's so effed up." And I'm like, girl, please sit down. Like, this is not about you right now. The camera pans over to Pavitt. Jessel is cackling. And Pavitt is like, did I say that? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it. Like, my bad. And then Brynn immediately backtracks and is like, oh, no, yeah, no, you didn't mean it. You took it back immediately. And that's the kind of messy that I live for. And that's how she gets away with shit. So in her confessional, Sai says that she is super offended and it wasn't cool and nobody should be giving out medical diagnosis. And it was very offensive considering her mother was bipolar. And now she's just playing Oppression Olympics with herself, because I don't recall her ever mentioning that her mother was bipolar, just that she was an alcoholic. And for someone that doesn't like talking about her mom, this lady brings up her mother every chance that she gets because she knows that she's not really that interesting. So Brynn does say that she took it back, or that Pavitt took it back, and then pivoted and said, no, she's not bipolar. I take it back. She's just being a bitch. Sai says, don't confuse being a bitch with being honest. And I'm like, well, two things can be true at once. She says Jessel lies, and then brings up Vietnam again. And I'm so tired of Vietnam. Like, my gosh. Jessel is over it and just says, like, who cares? And in a scene that I'm almost positive is going to help her case defending against the bipolar allegations, she randomly starts screaming at Jessel, telling her that she's a liar and you know, she doesn't make any sense and she talks in circles. Jessel just kind of, I'm proud of her, stands her ground and says, you know, don't raise your voice at me and don't curse at me. Sai is off on a tangent. She gets up and she kind of storms off and says that she's over this and she really would benefit from therapy or a church. Either way, she got to lay some of these burdens down because I'm tired of her processing them on camera for me. Chase, what did you think of this shady game, and how would you rank it in the echelon of Housewives shady games?
Very low, very low, very low. It was not memorable. I will not be like, girl. One thing about Brynn, she got that thing cranked up. You know, it's no Bailey Q. It's no Bailey Bowl.
Not the Bailey Q. It's no pillow talk.
Right. It's no pillow talk. It's no Bailey, you know, Bailey, whatever rhyme with beach out. You know, Bailey got something going on. It's none of that. It's giving none of that. It was it's A for effort. It's just whatever, right? But she tried, right? So she carried the episode on her back, according to Shantae. And, you know, I don't think that I want to ever see Sai yell again. Like, it's just like I'm talking.
It's true.
Because
nothing that was said needs all that. Like, nothing that
was. Oh my gosh, she's gonna knock her face off. Jessel is better than me because that kind of yelling is automatically like a trigger reaction for me to like elbow a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
But if you hit her, you would be in the wrong.
And I won't be in the wrong because I'm going to hit her. Don't yell at me like that. But, you know, I want to say in regards to that whole bipolar thing, he immediately recanted it. He did stand by his comment of calling her a bitch. And, you know, she's saying don't get it confused with honesty and all that stuff. But Sai needs to learn that honesty without compassion is brutality. And brutality can be very linked with bitchiness. You know what I mean? So I don't think that is far and off base. I am actually surprised, though, that with him having these sharp comments about the women, that their husbands aren't getting involved in it at all. I really thought that Sai's husband may have said something, but child, he probably with the next bitch. And with that being said, I want to say that I feel that the reason why Sai may be sensitive to this Vietnam thing, and she keeps bringing it up, is because what is that saying? Thou protest too much or whatever. Sweep around your own front door. Something else is going on that we don't know anything about, and you know, maybe she recognizes the signs because you know she knows how she got her man, her children, allegedly.
You lose them how you get them.
Okay.
What about you, Miss Shantae?
Oh yeah, here that game that Brynn orchestrated. Again, Ghost producers. She didn't get the Jessel fight when she wanted it because Jessel, you know, probably has the hoarse voice and as an adult and backed the girls off in her way. So Brynn wanted to get it started again, and she threw Pavitt all the way under the bus. The comment that he backtracked on, and again, I don't think it's right to play about mental health. You can't toss around these diagnoses lightly. Absolutely. So her even repeating it was foul play, right? And Pavitt still standing 10 toes down on, but I still have a negative feeling about Sai, right? The point that he was making is that this lady's been going after my wife and now me, because at this point, Pavitt is in it because at the swingers golf place, whatever, Sai was in his face, remember? After she yelled at Jessel, she went to where the men was. And I know Jenna was saying, I don't think any man should call, a woman a B. And in theory, yes, right? Everybody should respect everybody else. But Sai went in that man's face herself. She's like started things with him. And it's always a fine line. Like when the housewives get into the men's faces and start directly, going after the men, it's very hard because there are double standards. Like think about Kenya Moore, right? She's always in some man's face, and then if they sneeze hard at her, she's like, I don't have a man. Don't talk to me like that.
Okay.
What about
Jessel? What about
Jessel Square?
It's fine. What about Jessel? What about Pavitt?
I get what you're saying.
Right
to say something about the way Sai's acting, because she not only acted a fool in front of his wife, but she went into his face and is still questioning him and trying to play about his life when she has no business doing it. So Pavitt has every right, to respond to Sai. Yes, he should not have brought in, the bipolar thing, but she needs to be checked somehow. And Pavitt, I'm glad he said 10 toes down the confessional, was like, yeah, I don't like what she's doing. And it seems like it's biatch behavior, But at the end of the day, I'm glad Pavitt walked away and Jessel walked away, because there's no pleasing Sai. We already established this. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, you can give her the proof, the facts, and Ubah said it. You could bring Jessel's mom in front of her. She's going to want the DNA test. So it's a lost cause. Sai is miserable.
She's miserable.
I'm tired. When I see her on the screen, literally, like, my eyes close, my back slumps, like, I can't.
Girl, she make you go through all that.
I can't imagine how Jessel feels. Like, just watching it is exhausting for me. It has to be even more exhausting for Jessel and Pavitt.
It's exhausting.
So as soon,
but don't let her take you out the game, though, Shantae.
All right. So as quickly as the fight started, it ended. And David is the peacemaker, apparently. Like Sai says, I just want to get to know you. And that's why I've been bullying you for 6 episodes. And Jessel is like, okay, cool. We'll just agree to disagree and let's just move forward. And I'm like, okay, I got one eye on you, Sai, still. We see Aaron pop out in a parrot mask and a gay pride boa. And Jessel starts laughing and says this is a great sign that Aaron has a sense of humor, but like frankly, I don't think Aaron does. I think she really thought it was gonna gag Jessel and embarrass her. And when Jessel started laughing, like she just kind of stood there like, I really stick to just being messy in the background. Like comedy is not your thing. So the party ends with all the ladies a little bit drunk. Cake is being cut. It's a Nancy Drew cake, and the spirit of Sutton is in the room, and I love it. Brynn blurts out, Ubah, I heard you got a man in Connecticut. And Sai and Aaron are faked gagged. Sai, in an attempt to cover up her ass, knowing that she's the one that started all of this, said, oh, Brynn, that is not cool. How dare you say that? That's her story to tell. Don't. And we find out right after that Aaron and Sai hung out that they scooped up Brynn, took her to drinks, and then continued to tell Ubah's personal story, and then swore that they wouldn't say anything about it. So Sai is starting to do damage control with Ubah. She's trying to clean it up. Nope, that's not what I said. I said that you're happy with somebody. I don't know his name. I don't know where he lives. I didn't offer any details. And Ubah's like, then how does she know? And Sai's like, it's crazy. I didn't say that. So then Brynn is telling me, like, nuts. So then Brynn is kind of like, Sai, yo, cut the shit. You said it to me. You said it to her. You said it on camera. And then, of course, not bipolar Sai starts screaming that it wasn't on camera.
Could you not?
And she's just like yelling. She mad as hell. And she was like, no, you literally told us at the dinner that you told her on camera. And then Aaron's little bony hand is like, no, you're confusing what she said. And I'm like, no, girl, we saw it. She told you on camera. Sai, like in her like go-to move now, whenever she knows she's getting eaten up, just storms out of the party, says she doesn't want anything to do with Brynn. And I'm like, maybe if you didn't gossip about your friend, you wouldn't find yourself in situations to be gossiped about. Outside, Paul is apologizing to Ubah and is like, this is so fucked up. I can't believe she told your story. And I'm like, girl, please move. Please go somewhere. And in this whole thing, Ubah's really upset with Brynn and not with Sai. She's upset with Brynn for, like, I guess, telling it to everybody in that moment. She says Brynn is probably not going to remember this. She's going to blame the alcohol, but this really isn't cool. So then Ubah's leaving. Sai's leaving. We get a scene at the very end. Brynn and Aaron are kind of talking. Brynn is confused why there are consequences for her action. And surprisingly, Aaron kind of agrees that Sai overreacted and doesn't know why that it escalated to where it escalated. So that was the scene at the end of the party. We get the end credits. Ubah's business is flourishing. The ladies all met her Connecticut man. Sai is taking a break from screaming at people, and she's taking her mom's ashes up north to kind of spread them over the grounds of her estate there. It's saying that she's planning a girls' weekend, but she's not inviting Brynn. Jessel is sending the kids to a discount school at only $35,000 a year. They're still thinking about baby number 3, and they're having tons of staycations. Erin left Tribeca to be closer to her kid's school, and she's launching a line of mezcal, as she should, the Latina that she is. Good for her. Jenna's dating somebody new and may or may not be engaged, according to social media. And Brynn is freezing her eggs in Switzerland so she can be closer to rich men. And, like, I really hope she ditches this storyline next year because I'm tired of it. And that was the end of the rebooted Real Housewives of New York City. I'm going to go ahead and put the link. We're going to take a couple of calls after we get everybody's wrap up. Chase, what did you think of this final wrap up?
Yet again, well, shut the hell up, baby. Shut the hell up, baby. You was wrong, girl. You busted, dog. You busted, cuz. You busted. It's interesting how Brynn kind of evaded, the wrath. I think that everybody's to blame. Why are you having luncheons discussing my business, right? That's whack. So all three of you, in my opinion, are whack, right? Sai, you the wackest. Because you went and you accidentally told one and then you purposely told the other, right? And then you guys made a pact not to tell anybody. Brynn, so desperate to get something going at this party. I guess she knew the season was on the line, their checks was on the line. She did what she had to do from a Real Housewives standpoint, but you're willing to sacrifice. Now you're showing who you are because you're willing to sacrifice friendship for this, right? And the reason why I say that is because they are having this thing, and it's been a storyline all season for them regarding people hiding their lives from the camera, not exposing certain things, not sharing their story, like Jenna dating and all that stuff, whatever, right? That was a big deal for them. Lord Jesus, I can't have nothing, child. I just want to have something nice, and I just can't have nothing. It's falling down. Anyway, girl, look at her. Oh
my God.
Oh my God. My phone
At
is
least
giving.
you're wearing clothes under there.
Today. Child, my phone will give her your backbone, Shantae, when you say every time I come on screen, you be like this. About to fall back. No, but seriously, I want to get it out because I know we got a lot to get into. But good Lord, I was gonna say something that was really, 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 really serious. Finally, I lost it just that quick. Thanks a lot. Basically, they all lame as fuck. Oh. Do y'all cuss on Monday? Do we cuss on Monday? They all lame.
On Monday only.
Okay, on Monday only. Well, and I'm gonna cuss like a sailor tonight. They're all lame, and Ubah, she too is all barking no bite because everybody should have gotten the wrath. But what I was gonna say is yes, that their storyline, the running story thread is Everybody needs to be transparent. Everybody needs to share their stories. Everybody needs to tell who they're dating. We're mad at Jenna for not just exposing who she was dating. Now she's broken up with whoever she was dating and da 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 da. And I think that, even though you're on a reality show, right? If you're just dating someone and it is in its infancy stage, then you reserve the right to be judicious about what you share, right? And I don't see anything wrong with Ubah keeping that to herself, especially if you don't know at that point whether the man gonna be around for 2 days, 2 decades, 2 years. You don't know what the tempo is going to turn into. So I don't see anything wrong with her deciding not to tell anyone. I do think that most egregious behavior comes from Sai and comes from Brynn, because even though Brynn, Uber was like, I'm not mad at you, Brynn, I would be very mad at her, because why are you bringing this up? And you know that why are you bringing it up? I think that's lame. And I think I'm not here for it. I did like the cute little end cards at the end. I thought that was cute. But yeah, I don't have much other than that. Like, they lame.
Shantae.
I hate that Ubah had to suffer for us to get a good moment at the end, but Brynn knew that the party wasn't given probably, and I think she made the choice to sacrifice herself and sacrifice Ubah, to make this great scene, because Sai was definitely surprised, and it is important that Ubah knows now that Sai's not to be trusted, and I think she was
Brynn.
too
well. That's a given. That's why she didn't tell Brynn.
Yeah, Brynn was untrustworthy in front of her face, but Sai was a secret rat, that got caught. And I believe that Sai felt that if she screamed the loudest, maybe nobody would realize that it was all her fault. But it just made her look more foolish to me, because I was like, this whole thing happened because of you.
Because of you.
And she sounded like such a hypocrite when she's like, that's Ubah's story to tell. That's Ubah's story to tell. I was like, you did it to Jenna, number one, remember?
That's Ubah's story to tell, and I'm telling everybody about it. What?
She did it before too. Remember when Jenna had the Judith moment, and then she was the one that ran and told everybody? Sai always is messing around everybody else's business when her business is the one that I think she's really desperately trying to hide. And the fact that,
like I said,
yes, the fact that she is so upset at Brynn is just a diversion and distraction, but it worked because Ubah, was saying that stuff, which was really funny about how Brynn didn't deserve McDonald's, and I guess if they should have took her to McDonald's and not give her any fries. That was funny to me, because McDonald's fries are really good. That's like very low to say that.
Just very briefly, I'm not. I tried with Sai. I don't get the allure. She's a fashion girl with no fashion. She's an outside bitch with no inside voice. Like, it's just not giving. She cannot keep a secret. So, like, everything, like, I feel like the girls from the Bronx and, like, the New York girls are about that I thought I was going to give, she consistently gave me the opposite. She didn't give me anything. I thought I was going to get, a
Cardi
homegirl.
B.
Well, not even Cardi B, but just like, maybe, I don't want to say that because that could be, I don't want the Cardi Barbs, the Cardi B's. What are Cardi B's fans' names? I don't want them attacking me.
Barty gang?
Barty, I don't want the Barty gang to attack me. So I wasn't expecting Cardi B, but I was still expecting, some authentic, BX, you know what I'm saying? I was expecting that. And while she presents that, that is not who she is to the core of her.
Yeah, I agree. It's, Jenna had a nice comment on Watch What Happens Live when she was asked, she didn't bring the person she was dating and Ubah was trying to keep it a secret. And she goes, yes, we're on a reality show. We signed up to put our life on the line, but if our partner doesn't agree to be a part of that, that's their decision. They also deserve the autonomy to say what they want about themselves. Absolutely. On a nationwide platform. So I can get it. It's frustrating. And now that reality TV is now this behemoth, like it used to be, everybody was like, yeah, I'll show on TV and nobody's going to remember me. I'll be that little dude that popped up and it's cute, my little 15 minutes of fame. Social media has now blown up reality TV to like, you are now under the scrutiny
Celebrity.
of hundreds of thousands of people. So I can get it. So, okay, we're running a little bit over. Let me go ahead and bring on Miss Classy Lady, who is our caller that we have right now, get her thoughts on the season, and then we will close out.
Hi, Classy
Hey,
Lady.
Classy, how are you doing?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi. Okay, well, unlike popular belief, I actually liked the season. I
Same.
thought it was a nice, fresh look at New York. People who didn't fake money, but just was like, hey, I have a job. Hey, I do this, I do that, blah, 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 blah. So, and they weren't too outlandish with things. Some of their fashions were a little much, but most of the time, I liked seeing different parts of New York. I liked seeing just like even like the fashion shoot at Jenna's apartment. I just I don't know, it was just kind of like I felt like I was immersed in New York, and I liked it. So if I want to see, Luann and Sonia watch Crappy Lake,
Wait, you coming for me, Classy Lady?
huh?
You coming for
Drag
me?
him, Classy.
Oh, I'm not coming for you,
No,
darling.
go ahead. No, thank you,
You
darling.
can, you
Go ahead,
can
keep
if you
going.
want.
No,
You can if you
no,
want.
you can if you
Uh,
want.
but I do feel like well, one a side note, I did see at the end of the episode they did a little commercial for the reunion. I was very disappointed that there was absolutely no theme whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that Jenna wore her denim, but it's like there was everybody just like threw on an outfit and came. I just like there not even the colors, not even nothing at all went together, and I was very disappointed by that. Chase, did you want to say something? I'm sorry.
Well, thank you for permission. And no, I would say that, in my opinion, when you're saying things that you liked about this season of New York, I actually think that them showing up in their own individual identity and looks is more on brand with the reboot. When the reboot is untraditional take
Yeah.
on a traditional format of Housewives, like even the intro, how they're holding their apples. The apples aren't golden anymore. One is doing this. Jenna's throwing her
Yeah.
apple in the air. I think that yeah, so that's why it didn't bother me. I would have liked to see a theme. I think that I really feel like only maybe Jersey does it, but really Potomac and Atlanta have a theme, and this is this. I really wish
Yeah.
that it would be consistent across all franchises, because when those girls are left up to their own devices, it's a sloppy mess. So I agree with you,
It's
Classy Lady.
true.
But I honestly think that that is why they didn't do it, if that makes sense.
It does
I could
make
agree that.
sense. But even OC, the whole thing was like neon colors, so it was
Whew.
just like
My head
it.
hurt after that reunion.
I
It was
mean,
My God,
horrible.
it's so bright.
even though it didn't really go, at least it was like, okay, we're wearing neon colors, but
Yeah.
like I said, this is a whole new thing. We're trying something different, so I'm gonna go with you with that. But but
I'm glad you agree with me on something a little bit for once. Thank you.
I would go with you with that, but I didn't like it. 'Cause I didn't like.
I'll allow it, but I don't like it.
I don't like it. I mean,
I don't give a damn. It's my sweat. I don't like it. Go ahead, Classy Lady.
especially Aaron's dress. It just looked like she just bought something off of Express and wore it. I don't like
Not
it.
Express.
Sure,
Um,
say.
it was like a
Yeah.
crochet dress. I don't know. It just looks
It's her
like
theme, adequate. She always looks adequate.
adequate for I don't know, um a snack. I don't know.
No,
Anyway,
you know she doesn't have snacks anywhere.
no, she does. Oh
Size
yeah.
mad about that.
Yes, I feel like I know like how you said that Brynn kind of was uh, uh, carried the last part of the episode. I do feel like Jessel did a lot in the beginning of the beginning half of it. I'm really surprised that I even like Jessel, because in the beginning few episodes of the season, I was really not into her.
Hmm.
I thought she was a little a wannabe pretentious, just wanted to be this type of person. But towards the end of the season, I end up being a bit of a Jessel fan almost.
Same.
Um, and I don't understand though why Sai hates Jessel so much. I know that her husband said that she wanted Jessel to open up, but the fact that Jessel discussed her like deep intimacy issues with everybody, I think that's a huge thing to open up about. And
Mhm.
so I think there's a lot more to it. I think Sai is somewhat insecure. Well, she's acting insecure when she's upset with Jessel, because all that animosity and anger and so forth, a what a secure adult woman acts like. So, she comes off very insecure to be, in my
Definitely.
opinion. Um, and
All
I
right.
don't want to take up too much time. I'm sorry. Huh?
No, it's okay. But just we're running a little bit long. Do you have any final thoughts, Miss Classy Lady, before I let you go?
Uh, Last thing, I think that Brynn brought up the whole Ubah thing because she's like, okay, everything else has died down, everybody's fighting. Okay, let's bring up Connecticut. Let's start something else. Just like we got to keep this rolling, we got to keep this going. I do think that Brynn has some daddy issues, and that's why she has this whole like she needs attention, she needs to do this, she needs to do that. The way that she overacts. I think that probably off camera, she's probably a lot more subdued, but I think that she just needs attention, and that's why she
Mm,
overacts. And I also wouldn't tell Brynn a secret to save my life. Brynn is only loyal to herself, so that's how I feel. But anyway,
mm.
thank you so much for allowing me to speak,
All right,
and
Thank
Classy. Thank you for calling
you.
in.
I enjoy it. And Chase, hey, we're cool.
We're cool. We see each
We
other.
see each other.
Right?
We see each other. I see you.
All right, Classy Lady. You have yourself a great night.
Bye,
Thank you for
classy
joining
lady. Thank you
us.
for calling.
Thank
Thank
you.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me for this recap, Shantae and Chase. Thank you to everybody who got it popping in the comments. Sammy and Antonio fighting people in the comments,
Oh my
representing the
God,
lean,
my God, today.
in a bad way, making us look like a bunch of thugs.
We
Thank
love
y'all
it.
so
Thugs
much.
and cocktail dresses.
Oh, there we go. All right, guys.
What's
Thank you,
happening?
everybody. Thank you
I
to everybody for
don't know.
joining. It's a new iPhone, iOS thing. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking with us. We run a little bit over. Join us next week, same time for the Housewife reunion. It's a two-parter. From the preview, it looks like it's going to be great. Chase, what did you want to add?
Very briefly, I just want to say that in regards to this reboot, I just want to say that I think that they laid a decent foundation. I think that you bring certain girls back. I think that we expand on the next season. I'm only giving it one more season. If not, fix it. Go ahead. But
I
I
think
think
they've
that,
worked out their kinks. Like they
yeah.
now know each other, and they're like, okay, we see you. We'll see after this reunion what happens. It's my understanding that after this reunion, they all did not go out to dinner after the reunion. So
Yes.
there's some
Yes.
stuff there.
And
So
Brynn said in the interview their group chat is in shambles.
she did say it's in shambles.
Yes.
So thank you, everybody, for joining. I appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic night. Enjoy your week. Like, subscribe. Oh my God, iOS, what is going on? Like, subscribe to this video. Share it with your friends. Follow us on Twitter. You got our handles. We will see you guys next week. Take it easy.
Oh.